Okay, the crazy quadratic formula. And some teachers have you maybe memorize a song to remember it, but however you memorize it, very good thing, very handy thing to have memorized. Notice I put parentheses around all the variables just so that students remember when you're putting things in the calculator. If you have negative values, if you don't use parentheses around a negative, you're going to get incorrect answers. So it's a good idea to think always about variables having parentheses around them. The cool thing about the quadratic formula, very, very, very cool thing, is that you don't have to wait until you find a term that can't be factored. The quadratic formula always, always, always works. So I'm going to give you a simple one. If we've got x squared minus 2x plus 1, it just factors easily to x minus 1 times x minus 1. And then look at, we have x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 1, so that I just put x is equal to 1, multiplicity of 2. Well, notice our invisible 1, there's our a, our b, and our c. So if we put this into the quadratic formula, which says the opposite of b, well, b is negative 2, so the opposite of b plus or minus b squared, so negative 2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 1, all over 2a, which is 1, and then we're going to simplify. Negative 2 squared is 4. Subtract 4 times 1 times 1 is 4. So that's, all of this cancels to 0. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So we have 2 plus or minus 0 over 2, which simplifies to x is equal to 1. But remember, there's still a multiplicity of 2, and this is why. What that means right there, the normal quadratic equation looks like this. Well, all we've done, see where both of the x values are equal to 1? This has just been shifted. Another way to write that would be x minus 1 squared. And then look, so y is equal. It's just been shifted over here. That whole graph right there would just be shifted over to 1. And remember what I've said, that when a parabola or even a cubic whose parabola piece sits on an x-axis, that value, that x value, you'll have actually 2 of those roots. Okay, let's see if there was... All right, the next thing I'm going to discuss, well, I'll come back for that. So this is the big takeaway, big idea. You can use the quadratic formula on any quadratic term. So those of you that have a very difficult time factoring, plug the a, b, and c into the quadratic formula and you'll be able to find the x values. Just remember, you have to set it x is equal to, and typically there's a square root here, so you're going to end up with the opposite of b plus and minus the square root. So that's where you end up with 2 roots. All right, that's it for this one, and then we're going to do one on the discriminant.